Jen, did you know that each and every gender-inclusive deodorant is formulated for sensitive skin? It's made without aluminum, parabens, baking soda, alcohol, and synthetic fragrances.
Kristin, did you know that with just 6 simple ingredients plus essential oils, each and every uses natural ingredients like coconut oil and Dead Sea salt that work together to reduce body odor? Each and every goes on silky smooth and keeps you odor-free all day. Plus, it's vegan and cruelty-free, and I love that.
Try it risk-free with a 30-day money-back guarantee.
Visit eachandevery.com/mom, eachandevery.com/mom, and use promo code MOM for 30% off your first purchase.
That's not eligible to combine with other discounts or subscriptions. That's promo code MOM at eachandevery.com/mom.
The big drama at our house is that we found out my son, while playing Minecraft, has been making some in-game, in-app purchases, like 15
that's a big
of them.
thing right now.
I didn't know
That's
that.
a big
We didn't know that.
thing. Oh, yeah. During quarantine, I think kids are like ordering all sorts of shit from Amazon. You're like, why do I have a 4-decker planter? I didn't order that. Who's into begonias? Like, they're on Amazon. They're ordering stuff. They're renting movies. They're buying apps and these video games where you have to buy like people and gems. What a racket.
Well, I definitely, if it comes from Amazon or like some other shopping website, I'm never surprised. Sometimes I'm a little nervous at what I bought and don't recall buying. But usually delighted. Like it's usually a good choice. But then we told him specifically, you can't buy anything in there without asking us. And then today, this was like 2 weeks ago, today he finally came clean that it wasn't an accident. He didn't think it was furry. He just wanted the stuff. So he hasn't gotten his punishment yet. I mean, unless you listening to me pontificate about morals for 2 hours as punishment, but it's not enough. It's got to be more than that.
No, that feels like a lot. 2 hours of that. I love you.
And then
2 hours of that would be a hard sell.
Yeah.
I feel like if I told my son, I was like, all right, man, you earn this. I'm gonna unpack Charlotte's Web like you've never heard. You did this to yourself. You bought those stupid Brawl Star coins that mean nothing. And now I am going to make you listen to a deep dive of Charlotte's Web.
That's really smart. Maybe I'll order a copy of Old Yeller and read that one. It's a means of punishment. But he did say, he said the cutest thing the other day because he misses all of his little friends from school. And I get it. That's why the punishment was going to be that he couldn't they like to FaceTime while they play a game for hours on end. So the punishment we were thinking was that he wasn't allowed to do that. But they're so isolated that just felt like cruel. So we're not going to we're going to limit that time and he's going to have to earn it back by doing other stuff. But he misses everybody so bad. And he was telling me that how old does he have to be before he can get married to Azalea, who is this girl in kindergarten. He's in first grade, so it was last year, but he's evidently carried a torch for her for the last 2 years. Because which is hilarious to me because I remember having a huge crush on Bo Duke when I was 4.
Oh, yeah.
And my dad was like, you have to wait till you're 18.
I like that your dad's age is 18. That's...
Hey, I have a reasonable.
Yeah. I have a push-pull about age because I'm like, all right, well, because my son's the same way. He's like, I want to get married and have 4 children. And I just need to find a wife so she can put a baby in there. And I'm like, if it were only that easy. You make it sound like you're shopping. But yeah, he's like, how old do I have to be when I get married? And I so badly want to be 23 because then I get to be younger. But I'm like, you need an advanced degree and you need to be 30. Let's be honest.
Yeah, legally you have to be 18, but let's be honest. You're not going to be worth anything till 27 or 28 anyways.
So true. So true.
And it's so lucky though, because thank God I did not get married to John Schneider. And I didn't want to get married to John Schneider, the actor. I wanted to get married to Bo Duke. Like blonde, blue-eyed, hazard boy.
I would just like to tell you, in support of this crush, I too had a Bo Duke crush. And I recently, because we're in quarantine, I'm like, what's better to do with your kids than rewatch some really strong late 70s, early 80s TV shows like Dukes of Hazzard? There are shows that have held up. The Duke Boys is not one of them. I think the entire production cost $47. It's shot in the middle of Van Nuys. I was heartbroken. I'm like, I recognize that bank. So
bad. I don't want to know that. That's a bummer. Yeah. And it's like,
but they're still hot. They're hot, but it's a bummer.
They're so hot. Well, the confusing thing for me was like, kids, they don't understand the difference between like real life and TV. So I asked my dad, okay, how old do I have to be? He's like, 18, you've got 14 years left before you can marry him. It was like the first math equation that I ever did. And then I remembered him coming home from work one day and like sitting me down in this chair in their room, like their bedroom, and going, I got to tell you something I heard on the radio today. Bo Duke got married. And I was like, real life or TV? And he was like, real life. You can't marry him. He's already taken. And I remember like crying, and he like consoled me because I was so upset.
Your dad should have told you the truth. It's a Hollywood marriage, so give it 6 years. You still got a shot. When you turn 18, he's going to be on board. But I don't think your dad wanted you to go down that road.
Yeah. No, but I was really boy crazy. You were boy crazy too. I know this.
You were boy crazy in what way? What do you mean?
I remember like always having a crush or like being in love with somebody. Because then after Bo Duke, it was the Incredible Hulk for like a long time. That's like a huge part of my memory is not Bruce Banner, but the Hulk, like the Incredible Hulk, because I liked his muscles a whole lot. And then I remember even in like, I didn't have a real boyfriend. I was pretty a lot older than that when I had like a boyfriend, but I really fell in love with our next door neighbor, Bo Bortle, which I just realized that his name is Bo also. And he kissed me on the cheek on the back of his parents' green Mercury Cougar in the garage, like just on the cheek, and then ran off. And then I don't think we ever talked again, which that was hard because we live next door, like really close next door.
I have a similar story, except I am full. Now that I know what this poor boy must have felt, I feel so bad because I had a massive crush on my regular babysitter's brother. And one time my mom's like, I need a babysitter so bad. And our babysitter Paige was like, I'm not available, but my brother is. And I was like, yeah. So Dean came over. He's like 16. He stayed for like 2 hours, and all I did was full creep on this guy. And I think he was like, this is 100% weird. What is she doing? I went and changed into like a weird adult dress. And he's like, I think he sat on the chair and he felt like he was being held captive. And I was like, what's up, husband? And he's like, you're like 5. I don't understand.
Have you ever seen a guy named Dean that wasn't hot though? I honestly never have. I have a great uncle named Dean, and I think he was hot.
I'll tell you, every Dean is hot.
I was boy crazy. I'm sure that I had dad issues, but like my sister-in-law, Lexi said,
what does that mean?
Like, when my parents got divorced, for sure, I had like abandonment. I was like, oh, I need warm cuddles from my father, but this guy that works at the arcade will do. But Lexi said, like, she absolutely didn't have dad issues, like, not at all. And she was like, I was so boy crazy. I love boys, like, so much. Like, couldn't wait to have a boyfriend. Always had a boyfriend.
Jen, did you know that each and every gender-inclusive deodorant is formulated for sensitive skin? They make it without aluminum, parabens, baking soda, alcohol, or synthetic fragrances.
Yes, Kristen, with just 6 simple ingredients plus essential oils, each and every uses natural ingredients like coconut oil and Dead Sea salt that work together to reduce body odor. I need that. In fact, each and every has been found to provide odor protection equal to an antiperspirant, but without the aluminum.
Each and every was formulated by 2 women in the beauty industry who were frustrated by the lack of high-quality natural deodorant options. One of the founders holds a PhD in molecular and developmental biology. It's like we're twins.
Get it, girl.
And she used her in-depth understanding about how the body interacts within different ingredients to help design each and every.
Each and every goes on silky smooth and keeps you odor-free all day. Plus, it's vegan and cruelty-free, and I love that. Try it risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. I'm going to send some to my brother, too, because he's been looking for a deodorant that has no aluminum.
Well, I just like it because, first of all, it smells divine. Second of all, I was surprised at how well it works. And third thing is it's real sensitive to my underarm pit skin, which I'm nothing but a delicate flower. So
Very
having
sensitive
something
pits.
like that feels very nice in that little sensey area of mine. So right now you can visit eachandevery.com/mom. That's eachandevery.com/mom and use the promo code MOM for 30% off your first purchase.
That's not eligible to combine with other discounts or subscriptions, so don't even try, naughty. That's promo code MOM at eachandevery.com/mom. You know, Kristen, you can throw some bedding on a bunch of different mattresses, and sure, they all look alike. The same goes for pillows, but peel away the layers, look at what's inside, and you'll see how they all are not created equal. And that's what makes the Purple pillow and mattress unlike anything you've ever slept on.
The Purple Grid sets the Purple mattress apart from any other mattress. It's a patented comfort technology that instantly adapts to your body's natural shape and sleep style.
With over 1,800 open-air channels designed to neutralize body heat, which I need, Purple provides a cooling effect other mattresses can't replicate.
And this cutting-edge technology doesn't stop with the mattresses. Every Purple pillow is engineered with the Grid for total head and neck and total absolute airflow. So you're always on the cool side of that pillow.
Purple's proprietary technology has been innovating comfort for over 15 years. And I can totally see it when I sleep on that fantastic pillow they sent me, like they knew I was a sweating machine at night, living in the San Fernando Valley in the dead of summer and having to wring out my pillow every morning. Thank God they sent it.
See, and that's where we're different. I sleep like I'm like a princess. You know what I mean? Like I have my pillow has to be perfectly shaped and perfectly squeezed into a perfect like little L so that I can get my chin right under it. It's the only time that I have truly cool style is when I sleep. So
Okay.
this pillow does it for me. And right now you can try every Purple product risk-free with free shipping and returns. And Purple has financing available as the lowest 0% APR for qualified customers.
Experience the Purple Grid and you'll sleep like never before. Go to purple.com/mom10 and use promo code MOM10. For a limited time, you'll get 10% off any order of $200 or more. That's purple.com/mom10. Promo code MOM10 for 10% off any order of $200 or more. Terms apply.
Yay, night night. I remember having boyfriends and then feeling very weird about it.
Oh, yeah, because you're the oldest in your family. So you weren't friends with, like you and Matthew weren't friends.
No, I just remember being like, all right, guys, let's go out and play in the tree strip, and perhaps we'll do capture the flag, and then we'll do I played on the baseball team, and then all of a sudden I was like, why do I feel my heartbeat in my pants all of a sudden? And I just realized I was like, oh, I'm developing feelings for this guy that's our second baseman, and that's messing me up every step of the way.
Well, what age was that?
I think that was like when I think that was probably around Finn's age. I was like 9 when I started having like actual feelings instead of just playing a part, because I had crushes. Like, well, I had a first boyfriend that was Aaron Coons, who will be delighted that I'm shining a light on this conversation, because it was a thing. It was a thing.
My first boyfriend, kind of, that I went at, that it was official, was Aaron also. It must have.
Oh.
Yeah. There's
Mine
another
was an
odd
Aaron
similarity.
Another odd similar. Well, that story will come later, but we also you also know another guy I dated, which we will not talk about.
Oh yeah.
Complete detail. But Aaron, my first boyfriend, and by boyfriend, I was like, I've been watching TV. My mom watches Dallas. It tells me I need a boyfriend. All right, Aaron, we go to the same church. You're fine. Let's make this happen. His parents own the local Dairy Queen. He felt like a catch. So then I was like, you're my boyfriend. And he was like, oh, okay. And then He's like, okay. And I like that.
That's so Peppermint Patty, Charlie Brown. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's exactly who I was. That's 100% who I was. So much so that my parents were like, do you like boys? Are you? And I was like, yeah, I just want to boss them around a little bit. So then I told him, I said, you're going to be my boyfriend. And he's like, okay. And he's like, so you're my girlfriend? And I'm like, absolutely. Then we never talked again. And then at Christmas, his mom bought me heart-shaped earrings that were scented from Avon, and he brought them to the school, and we were on the playground, and it was like 4,000 degrees below zero, and he threw them at me, and he ran away, and I was like, that's what love is. That's what love is.
That's so exact. Okay, the like relationship that I count before the Aaron was, because it was in the 5th grade, and it was kind of the first time where I did like felt flush around. Because other than that, I was just like, oh, he's so cute, and he's so cute. My mom was always like, this boy's cute. I remember her saying like, Barry Manilow has such cute, like nice hands. He's so cute. And
no.
I guess I just thought it was this like thing that you did. But in the 5th grade, I was starting to be like, okay, why do I feel weird like around? And I had this friend, Tim Willis, and he called me on a Sunday and was like, hey, I was just wondering if you want to go out. And I was like, I know what that means, but I don't know what it means. I don't really know what it means, but that's just what you would say. So I was like, yeah, I want to go out. And then on Monday, I kind of got to school like late or something, and his best friend, Matt Facero, was standing in the hallway telling everybody, Jess Bailey and Tim Willis are going out. Jess Bailey and Tim Willis are going out. Like, he shouted it at everybody. So when I got, like, I could hear it down the hallway as I was coming, and I was like, what are you doing? And he goes, you're going out with Tim. And I go, no, I'm not. And then he never talked to me again because I had embarrassed him so bad. I mean, he did finally
broke up with him.
I did, but that was so much pressure. Like, I wasn't prepared to like put an announcement in the school newsletter about it. Like, what the hell? I
know. I ran a relationship ring in 5th grade, and what that meant was okay.
Like Nexium, like
no, not that far. But basically, what I did was I would just like to say I was honing my leadership skills, which oftentimes was translated onto my progress report as bossy. And I was like, okay, guys, everybody get a boy or a girl or whatever. We're gonna couple off, and when the bell rings, we're gonna walk arm in arm into the gymnasium for PE. And the teachers like came undone. They had to have a conversation with us about like inappropriate behavior on the playground. And I was like, I'm just trying to make this fun. And but the thing is like, I didn't have that internal drive to like be coupled off. I had no like hormones to be
totally
like, oh, I'm feeling it. Well, it was also just me like running the show. I was like a social organizer.
But arm in arm, so it was like square dance style. Who has a problem with that?
Every teacher that I was on this.
Did you go to Footloose University? What the? How did they have a problem with you locking elbows? That doesn't make sense. That's the most. But
hey, man, 5th grade's a period talk. 5th grade's when they're like, "Hey, you're gonna get a period, and his testicles are gonna change color, and you never talk to each other the same way again." That was what I take away from that entire day.
Hold on, I might have not been paying attention. What happens to testicles? I don't know what you're talking about.
Jen.
Yeah, I know the talk. I know the talk. They didn't go over testicles changing colors with us, Kristin.
Yes, they did. They said when boys go through puberty. Yes, they do. They say when boys go through puberty, their voice changes, they get hair in their armpits, hair on their genitals, and their testicles change color. And my big takeaway was, well, that's something I didn't know. Not that I knew this stuff before, but I was like, I've seen a hairy armpit, and I knew what no pants look like.
Okay, all I remember them saying is that they would grow a mustache and have an Adam's apple. I don't remember anything else. But I'm also really concerned that they didn't mention anything to you about like erections or anything.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, that's not what I remember. I also remember zero about my own anatomy. I did not know there. I think the whole point was, hey, the most important thing is that we talk about your anatomy, not his anatomy, but just a real brief overview. Here's what happens to him. But you have 3 holes. And then I'm like soft focused and I'm like, their testicles change color. And then I go to the OBGYN when I'm pregnant for the first time and they're like, there's like one of those modular models. And I'm like, wait, I have 3 holes? I literally didn't know.
Oh, no.
They were in a, I thought they were, I just didn't know there was a situation.
Okay. What
I thought I peed out of my vagina. I thought I peed out of my vagina for a long time. That's a fair mistake.
You know what? I can't believe you. I don't know anything about testicles changing color. And what color do they change to?
Darker. They go darker. But here's what I know about you, Jen. As I'm watching you right now, I know that you're like in your head and you're like, I just want to make her feel better about this dumb thing. And I could see you like, anyone could get confused by that, but it's ridiculous that I had zero idea. Well,
I wouldn't be shocked by a man saying that he thought you peed out of your vagina because but you've had more alone time with your area. So I'm just surprised by that. And I'm not shaming you. It's totally fine. And also because like right now I'm talking to Delilah about it and I'm like, no, look at it and making sure that she washes well in the shower and stuff like that. So I'm being very clear and clinical about it because I did not get that growing up. So
I didn't get that either. I don't blame my mom because I think that you just do what you're taught. And I'm sure like, look, my mom's one of 13. I'm sure my grandmother was like, figure it out. Like, talk to your sisters. I don't know. Like, I've got 47 children I got to deal with. But I do think like I didn't know like labia minor and major. What's it called? Minora and a majora? Majora.
It's called a menorah, but what does your daughter call it?
That's
really
not. It's not a menorah. That's not a menorah. That's a Jewish candle, right?
I know it's majora. It's majora. I was joking because you said menorah.
Shit.
Okay. Like
okay,
like at this point in our lives, we have pretty major majoras. That's the way to remember it.
You know what?
They're not messing around anymore.
Sister. That's why I buy Costco underwear. They got to keep it all in. It's like a Glad bag. But my daughter calls it hot dog buns. Hot dog buns.
I love that. It's so great. It's perfect.
And I tell her, I go, you got to clean yourself and you have to be specific. And also, you know what I love is like she doesn't have any problems just telling you what her parts are and what hurts. And I'm so grateful for that because I think for me, I was like, what nickname did my mom give it? It's a flower or a lily or what day of the week is it? It's my, I'm like, it hurts down there. I remember the first time I got a yeast infection, because you don't really get a real yeast infection until you've had your period, or you're starting puberty. So I remember I was like, by the way, I didn't start my period till I was 15, but I started puberty and I know so much going on right now. The whole world's like, ugh, but I knew a lot to unpack. So I knew I was like hurting down there and I knew something felt different. And I was like, I don't know how much I can take. And finally I had to tell my mom and I was like, Mom, I have something going on. And I go, it's like really painful and itchy. And it was like so hard to tell her that. And she never did anything for me not to feel open. I just didn't know how to talk about it. And she's like, I know exactly what that is. She called her doctor and got it fixed up and ready to go. But I want Eleanor to be able to give like a specific, I want to know, dial in, like it's on my left side. It's my labia minora. I've got this,
do
that,
too.
whatever.
I do remember getting a yeast infection when I was 13 or 14. And I don't know if that sucker went systemic or what, but I remember I was like, I don't know what this is. I certainly am not going to bring it up to my mom. I know
you're like itching your vagina on a pillow.
Yeah. On a pillow? No. I was like,
you're just dying.
I would have wanted to be like dragged behind a car on the asphalt because I was like,
I know.
I didn't have those conversations with my mom. I'm trying to have them with my daughter. Also, because none of it's weird or creepy or scary or awkward to me. It really isn't. Maybe it's your influence in my life. I don't know, but I just like have these conversations with her because when it came to like every part of sex, I was flying so blind, dating, like anything. I had no idea like what was going on. And even like, okay, so my first, I would say like my boyfriend where I like had a crush on him. We talked on the phone, like had this courting thing was like 7th grade.
You mean your own phone line? Your own phone line?
No, I didn't get that for quite a while. So I had to like take the phone out of the kitchen and then make the cord like 45 feet long and stretch it out. My mom would scream. That's what I had to do. But like in 7th grade was the first time I remember it like being a deal because everybody's like coupling up. They're like hooking up. Not like, I mean, some people were hooking up and we all know who they were too, right? Some people had a very active sex life in the 7th grade. Not me, but I like wanted an ID bracelet with initials on it. Like I wanted something to do on Valentine's Day, right?
Yeah, just join the student council, Jen. You can do a lot of decorating and a lot of tear down.
For the dances.
Yeah, it's a good time. Hey, Jen, did you know that Care of is a wellness brand that makes it easy to maintain your health goals with a customized vitamin plan that helps you feel your best today and supports your long-term goals?
I actually did know that, Kristin. Care of is a hassle-free vitamins and supplements delivered to you kind of company, which is exactly what I need. Care of can make taking your vitamins and supporting your health goals attainable. Their new line, the Skin Plus Hair Collection, helps you work on your beauty goals with a combination of targeted ingredients for hair, skin, and nails. Your recommendations come in daily, individual wrap packets that are perfect for sticking to a routine. Did you know that?
Care of is also super transparent about the research and the sourcing behind every one of their products with extensive info that's available on their website. And it's fun and informative content on their social pages. Care of's products are formulated with good-for-you, clean ingredients that are backed by science. They have yummy protein powders that are made with wholesome ingredients you may recognize, like organic cocoa and pink Himalayan sea salt.
Health is made easy thanks to Care of's online quiz. They offer an in-depth 5-minute online online quiz that asks you questions about your diet, lifestyle, and health concerns to help address your specific wellness goals. They ask you questions like, how much sleep do you get? How often do you work out? Do you follow any specialty diets? Are you concerned about your hair, skin, and nail health? Yes, and more. Follow Care of's expert recommendations or adjust your pack at any time. What you receive is totally up to you.
And what I really liked about this is when they say it's a 5-minute quiz, it's literally a 5-minute quiz. And the interface is really fun and sweet, and it doesn't feel like you're being judged, and it also doesn't feel too medical.
No.
So the nice thing is you can start to think a little bit about what you want. And I definitely wanted to double down on that hair and skin situation, but I also wanted to look at sleep and overall wellness. So now I've got these little packets that I take every day that you just open them up and you're good to go. It's all done for you.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool too, because I generally just buy like a multivitamin, and there's so much of vitamins that you don't need in a multivitamin. So this is great because it's like targeted to what your body actually needs to support your health goals. So I thought that was cool.
That's right. So now for 50% off your first Care of order, you just got to go to takecareof.com and enter IMOMSOHARD 50.
Remember, for 50% off your first Care of order, go to takecareof.com and enter code IMOMSOHARD 50. That's IMOMSOHARD 50.
Do they have a vitamin that helps with pitch?
Shut up.
I remember in 7th grade is when everything changed. I remember, first of all, this is such a terrible, this is not made up. First of all, I was already behind the ball in growing. So everybody was starting their periods this summer between 6th and 7th grade was like, everybody's bleeding. And I was like, what's this thing you guys are talking about? Was that the thing they talked about in 5th grade? All I remember is dark testicles. Anyone else? Okay, great. So yeah, everybody has their periods.
And Chris is like, nothing has happened to my testicles yet. They're exactly the same. I can't.
I'm like,
my hot dog bun is the same color. Is it supposed to turn wheat or something?
I now have an Adam's apple, but my testicles. But
little bit of a mustache, so something's happening. But
so the summer of my 6th, going into my 7th grade year, which is the big year where everybody gets everything, I get like viral pneumonia, like a real thing, where I end up in the hospital for like 8 days with a like bubble around me, the whole thing, and I'm messed up.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious. So like my friends are not allowed to see me because they're not allowed to go into the adult ward, except one friend was able to like breach because her mom was a nurse. And so she came in and saw me. And I just remember being like, that summer sucked. Everybody was looking, literally, it looked like everyone like cracked out of a shell and came out like this beautiful swan. And I was like, what the actual fuck? So I was so behind. And then, by the way, I don't start my period for another 5 years. I'm like small. I'm small in a, not a cute Jen Smedley way. Like I'm small. I'm a small in like, what's this like 8-year-old doing at our party? So in 7th grade, when everyone's like coupling up, I'm like the door guy. They're like, hey, just make sure no one comes in. And I'm like, okay, cool. Well, you guys are really sucking face a lot. Okay, that's not weird. I'm just going to watch the door. And then they would tell me about what they did, which was like so graphic. And I would play along like I knew. They were like, he went down my pants. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I'd think, well, what did he do when he got there? What was it just a warm spot for his hand? What does that mean exactly? Then I figured.
Is he spelunking? Yeah. What's going on down there?
I just didn't know. I'm like, anybody else playing with their Cabbage Patch Kids still? Because I feel like it's a big no on that front. I was very behind, but I was also had debilitating crushes. That was my thing. Like, you read my diary.
I did read your diary, and you did have some pretty substantial crushes. But don't you,
Jen?
Okay, there were a lot. Every day there was some one or three new. For sure.
My crush list looked like the menu at like Cheesecake Factory. Literally, here's the thing. I made everybody feel good about themselves because somebody who's never had anybody crush on them, I crushed on you.
There's a few early developers that always happen in middle school. It was junior high when I went. It wasn't middle school. It was fully like get primed and be ready to fully make out by high school. Here's a couple years for you to feel awkward and embarrassed and then prep for it. But I think most people don't like, all you want is like, if you're a woman, a girl, no, let me take that back. If you are a girl, a tween, all you want is like just another girlfriend to hang around with that is a good looking boy.
That is so, you've never said anything more poignant because I will tell you, one of the greatest moments of my life that was such a parallel of my life right now with you, my life with my friendships with my girls, because I love my husband and he's my my legal best friend, but you can't replace your like girlfriends, like that thing you have. And I will tell you, when I was in second grade, Jason Dubas told me, he's like, I like you and I like Lynn. And the only way I can choose between who I should be boyfriends to is if you guys race. And Lynn and I are like, all right, like start it off, like on your mark, get set, go. And we get like halfway around the playground and we're like, fuck this, let's just be best friends. And I thought that was such an important moment in my life because I thought, oh my God, like your girlfriends are a relationship that will literally get you out of the hardest times of your life. And I figured it out in second grade. And you're right. Like you want the boyfriend that you have, you should want the boyfriend you have to be a best friend that you have had. That is such good advice, Jen.
Well, I think about like, because growing up, Kristin and I didn't know each other until we were like in our 20s. So just a few weeks ago. But
yeah, it's just 2 weeks ago. We're really close.
But growing up, my best friend was Mandy, and I would always stay at her house over the weekends. And like our time was spent together, like crushing on boys. And she had a waterbed. That dates me. That dates her.
I had a waterbed. It was delightful.
It was really nice. But when it got too hot at about like 4 a.m., you were like, I'll sleep on the carpet. It's terrible. But we used to like write our initials like JS plus, AR, what, I don't know who that is, on her mattress. And really that was the best.
On her mattress?
On her waterbed mattress. Yeah. Her parents were like young and they just didn't care. It was like under the sheet. I'm sure they didn't see it.
In like a shirt. Okay, I don't mean to, I digress, but still.
Not a Sharpie. It's very fun to write on a waterbed with a pen because it is like.
Okay, just a little common sense for you, but that's fine. Moving on.
Are you scared you're going to puncture it? You know what? We didn't use.
I would have been the friend that would have been like,
no. You girls are breaking the rules. I am leaving this slumber party. Listen, maybe you're a kind of girl that used a fine point, but I prefer to medium moin. Always have, even a thick one. And that's not going to pop a waterbed, okay? I like a Bic medium. Maybe even blue. I don't know. Even though they're messy.
I'm sorry. Did you just say like a dick medium? I'm sorry. Oh, Bic medium. Okay, writing it down.
No, I don't. But a medium moin pen. But so you feel all this pressure though, or at least we did, like felt all this pressure that you had to like couple up with somebody. So Maddie and I shared lockers, 7th grade, and they were like in alphabetical order. And the guy next to our locker, I know his name was Aaron. I don't remember your last name, Aaron. You're not listening to this, but if you are, sorry. It started with an S. I feel like it was Polish or Czech. I can't remember. But
it ended with a ski.
It for
That's
sure
how
did.
it is.
It absolutely did. I'm for sure.
Those are my people.
Yeah. So he was like very funny, super nice, did impressions, had an incredible mullet. Incredible mullet. Like it was like, are you a
guys don't know
professional
what it's
hockey
like to
player?
Oh, so good.
He played drums in the band, and I was like sold. So we would talk on the I kind of went through this like not heavy metal. Like I didn't wear like black t-shirts. My mom seriously would not let me wear a black t-shirt because she thought that it was unladylike. I was not allowed to wear one. It was a lot of sweater sets and scalloped collars, but I still was obsessed with heavy metal music. And like my dad would, because that's the benefit of divorce. Like if your mom won't let you do it, your dad absolutely will. So like he would let me buy the most foul heavy metal tape.
Yeah, but your dad's a music guy. Your dad was a music guy. So he's kind of a rebel. So he liked that. He's like,
yes,
he didn't, I don't begrudge your dad. I feel like that was just his thing. Like he loved music. He loved records. He loved, like, that's cool. I think that's cool.
Yes, he was like, this band Skid Row, they're artists. You can't clean up their act. Their art. This is who they are. They're expressing. He wasn't British, by the way. I don't know why I made him sound like that.
I know we always make our dad sound British.
Mine was he's very Rhode Islandy sounding. So it's just sort of like cheap Boston kind of sound.
Hair bands were the thing, man.
It was so the thing, and he looked like a rock star, and I immediately fell for him. And then I don't know that we did anything other than like hold the phone and watch TV together.
Wait, you sat in the same room with him by yourself?
No, I don't think. Maybe at a party one time, but not by ourselves. But
you held the phone while the TV was playing. Okay, I was like, next level, like, Jen.
Yeah. We would write notes all day long, back and forth to each other, like hold hands sometimes, and then hold hands. I would never kiss him, and I think that's why he broke up with me. And then my next boyfriend also, same story. But he was different. He played guitar, very funny also, had a mullet.
You've got a type. Your husband has a mullet.
I really do.
That's because of quarantine.
It's very unintentional. It's because but you know what? I did give him that haircut, and it is a little mullety, so maybe I'm expressing some stuff right now.
You know what? I have no problem saying that I like a nice mullet. I do. I think it's sexy. It is deeply rooted in me, and I know you feel the same way. If you pull it off right, it's sexy and cool, and it's gonna make a comeback. Now, you can't go tight sides, long back, because that's tacky. But if it's all kind of flows together, it's sexy. I'm sorry. It's sexy. It's Kevin Costner.
It's okay because my next Bo Duke in my life, because I went through a real cold spell, like just nothing happening, like whatsoever.
What do you mean?
Where I don't even remember really having a crush on anybody for a couple of years. Like besides Cece DeVille Poison, who I really thought I would marry. I really did. I really honestly did. That. You know what? I don't think he would. I know we both of us, I think I'd be too old for him at this point. And he has lived a hard life and looks like Gandalf from The Hobbit. Like that's what happens when you do a lot of drugs in the 80s.
Oh, so, yes. Well, I would like to interject here. I was not going to share this story, but now I will, Jen, because I know you love a good romantic story. I'm literally embarrassed to tell this because, okay, so 7th grade, I too was going through a time of crushes, and I went to a camp called Go Bananas for Jesus. It was a Catholic camp.
Wait, go back.
I'm sorry.
Go back. What?
I went to a camp.
No, I heard what you said. I just don't understand it, Kristin. What does Go Bananas for Jesus have to do with Catholicism at all?
Hold on. I don't know, but I went to a camp for Catholics called Go Bananas for Jesus. It's all coming back to me. I got a t-shirt. I wore it regularly. I was very proud of it. So I went to this camp. It was stop shaking your head. So I went to this camp called Go Bananas for Jesus. And
oh my gosh. That's going to be like my new thing I say.
And we were a bunch of kids.
Well, go bananas for Jesus. Did you see that car accident?
And I stayed with this nun who was really cool, and she was young, and I was like, how do you give over to God? Anyway, it doesn't matter. So
now this is getting interesting. Okay.
So I stay with her, and I'm like, and then there was 4 girls, and they're all from all over Nebraska. And we all are getting ready to go to this dance, right? And so, junior high dances are like the biggest shit you will ever experience. I've never felt more pressure for anything than a junior high dance. Not my wedding, not playing in front of we've had the good fortune of playing in front of 3,000 people, and I felt like I crapped 50 times before going on that stage. But going to a junior high dance, I thought I was gonna barf. So
I'm sweating thinking about it, honestly.
So all right, so we're Go Bananas for Jesus. I'm wearing a really cool long denim skirt. I was an avid clarinetist. I felt very good about myself in this place, and we were going to go to.
Wait, well, this sounds very Jehovah's Witness. All of a sudden, a long denim skirt. Who are you?
With granny boots.
No wonder you were a virgin till you were 30.
So shut up. So I go to this dance, right? And my husband always says I like to dance by myself, which is not untrue, just because I have my own moves, right? So I'm.
It's also a little sad. It's sad for him.
But
no.
He's not. He gets it. I just don't want him to crowd my space. So I go to this dance, and it's like in my head, like a teen movie. I'm like having a moment, and I'm like doing my best, like I'm living it, and I'm at this thing, and all of a sudden the like light shines at this guy in front of me, and he's from this little small town in western Nebraska, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm in love. I don't even know. And then we just like slow walk to each other, and we slow dance together like 4 times, and we wrote love letters to each other for the entire summer. And when you have to wait on a letter in the mail and you are a 6th grader and maybe I was 40, I don't know. But I was just saying, like, I would read these letters, like I would read them. I would get them in the mail, and I was like, everything in my life is perfect. I
can't imagine. That would be like, it's like waiting for a tax return. You're just like waiting for the mailman. Like, that's all you got?
It was
oh my God.
Awesome. It was, I can't even explain it. I was living on a farm with my parents and my siblings, and like getting this like new love. Who is the character in Charlotte's Web where she starts to fall in love with him? And anyway, so that was me. And then like the like I just filled in the blanks with this person. Do you know what I mean? I was like, he's perfect. So he became my pretend boyfriend for like 2 years.
You're John Glass. Oh, you're John Glass with the broken K on his typewriter, like the Brady's.
Yeah, I lied. I did. I was like, I am dating someone from Kimball, Nebraska. Now, let me tell you something. It went full circle.
What was his name? That's not a big town.
No, I'm not going to tell you, because he went to your school and I met him and I was disappointed. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
I do know if a guy is handwriting you letters at that age, he's into you. He is telling people that you're his girlfriend too, for sure.
It was so sweet. It doesn't matter that he was a D-bag in the end, but I'm just saying.
No. They all are in the end.
Oh. And my husband even tells me that he like made mixtapes for girls, and he spent hours on mixtapes. Like, love in junior high is real.
That is It's, you know what, a good mixtape is real right now. My husband's standing over there, and let me just give him a signal that if he made me a mixtape, rather than being like, hey, you might like the new Fiona Apple CD. Here's a link. Download it yourself. If you made me, he really did that a couple days ago, which I definitely appreciate. But there's nothing like a mixtape that they've colored the the sticker on.
Sweet.
I mean,
when Dashiell or Delilah have these crushes, is this something that you feel like now, knowing what you know, are you going to guide them in some way? Because I feel like I want to put down boundaries, because I feel like real information is really helpful, but I don't know if that's also very controlling.
well, sure, it's controlling, but they don't need the reins, do they? I mean, that's my opinion, because my husband and I have talked about this, and I am going to say to them, I'm going to have rules you can't drive till you're 16. Maybe if they had a boyfriend or girlfriend that they dated for years.
Wait, what?
I don't know.
Dated for what? What? Wait, what? They can only drive when they're 16.
All right. Oh, God, you're missing the metaphor. All right. So Kristin was a late bloomer.
Okay.
Late bloomer here. We got a late
Okay.
I just want to have really practical rules for them. And the deal with Dash lying about making the in-game purchases. The conversation that I and my husband both had with him were hey, what's the deal? Did you download them thinking they were free and not know? Or did you download them knowing that they cost money and now you're having to lie about it? And because he was freaking out. He was freaking out he was going to explode. He couldn't even say words. He felt so guilty. And
Good.
I just wanted to
Good.
be honest, be honest and give him a chance to say the truth. And I want to be able to say to my kids when they're in middle school, I know you're going to want to dry hump the hell out of that person. But you know what? You won't, but don't kiss somebody, hold their hand. But you're going to get you don't want to be a marked person at an early age. And I'm not a prude. I'm just it's a waste of your dang time for the most part.
I don't think it's being a prude. I think that we live in a world where everybody says this thing is cool, so hurry up. I mean, we lived in that world, so I felt, even though I wasn't ready, hey, hurry this thing up. And I didn't feel ready. I didn't feel I was I am 4'2" and I like watching Scooby-Doo still, so I don't feel equipped to have these kind of things happen. But I do feel it's nice when parents give you a little bit of rules, because you go, oh, okay, because then I can blame it on them. Maybe I can say
yeah.
I can't do that because my parents they're lame, whatever. Blame it on me. Fine, blame it on me. But I think hold off on that stuff as long as you can. There's no hurry to any of that, because the world is a big place and life is a long line. So why? I don't see why hurrying it is a benefit.
Yeah. Now I'm so scared that we sound like this, puritanical. I feel like we're go bananas for Jesus right now, and I'm not. No, I love Jesus. I'm sorry, but it's not I'm not a camp where I'm say.
I did not mean to sound like a Pollyanna. That is not what I'm saying at all. And in fact, I remember there was a mom that asked us. She said, "My daughter is humping her favorite blanket all the time. What do I do?" And I was like, "Nothing. Let her. It's a blanket."
Yeah.
If that's the
mind
thing
your
she
own
falls in love
business.
with, let her take it to college with her. You want her to hump that, not a frat guy.
Oh gosh.
Good.
Well, you know what? All right, that's where we disagree, because once you get to college, all bets are off, right? That's
college is
that's
a real
where
shit
you
show.
take psychedelic drugs and are in the movie Hair. I didn't. That just made me sound like I'm 9,000 years old.
No, I did. I did. You were a little more outgoing in high school, and I was more outgoing in college because
I don't know.
felt like I use the word outgoing because it's a nice soft.
Now that I'm thinking about it, and maybe that I've had a tall boy of wine, how hard like when you're in the 7th grade and you're supposed to like, you're under this intense pressure to like compete with girls that already look like women. Like I had acne that were bigger than my boobs at that age. And like this full, like I had the period of a woman who lived in a shoe that had 8 kids. Like it was incredible and would last like 13 days. I would get like a 15-day reprieve and then like right back at it again. And you're like, and then you have to like make out with somebody. Like you're supposed to, I couldn't handle it. It was like, it was beyond me. I couldn't do it. So I think, I know you like give yourself a hard time. Number one, there was like 40 people in your town and you know, they coupled up in 7th grade and then got married like freshman year of college. So it's not
true.
like,
it's true.
Is that what happened, honestly, though?
No, it's actually what happened. But, and honestly, it did. But I think the thing that like, I envy about anyone, or I think the thing, you know, obviously many years have passed, but I think the thing that was really hard to deal with at that age, I remember like going to the city pool and seeing girls like being able, do you remember those swimming suits that were really big where it was like the top and the sides were pinned together? So like it was like if you imagine like a sports bra and then like high cut underwear and then they were like tied up on the sides, each side. That was a big swimming suit design of the time. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Body glove nightmare? Yeah. You had to look like
a model.
Carmen Electra to wear it? Yeah.
Yes. And it's like I went to school with 80 Carmen Electras. I was like, everybody looks good in this. And I remember my mom, and God bless her, she knew I was struggling and she did her best. And we would go to, I had to go to a little kid's store to find a suit that fit. I remember, do you remember Pepe jeans? They were $1,000. And by 1,000,
they make your butt look
60.
so good though.
They make, if you have a butt. And I remember I went to the Brass Buckle and I was like, hey mom, what do you think about these? And I remember she was like looking at me like, they don't fit you, but we're going to get them anyway. And she bought them full boat. And I'm telling you, Terry's a bargain shopper, but she bought them for me because she was like, I will do whatever it takes to make you feel good about yourself. And I just was small. And you know what? Like, it's a time in your life. You identify with that. It does sort of shape how you feel about yourself. So then I got to college. All of a sudden I'm 5'8". I have like curves. I'm like fit. And all of a sudden I'm getting attention and I'm like, and there's booze. So guess what? The party train started and I was like, I can make out with everyone if I want to. And I did.
Okay. I've seen your photos from high school, and while I would say you can tell by your eyes, like your smile, that you lacked confidence, you were beautiful, Kristin. And when you were in college, you were stunning because you had this smile that was like it was like the Julia Roberts thing. I'm not joking. I'm not saying that. Like, I've seen pictures of you and I was like, who? This is you? You got to have this?
You're very, very sweet. And by the way, I think we probably hung out in college. I probably
said the exact same thing too. If we ever did, I was probably drunk and tried to kiss you. If we did.
I know. I said the same. I think if I had one hunch as to when we met, maybe besides Michelle Eckley's comedy show that I went to, which I was entirely wasted at, I think we met at like a theater thing for the university. But I don't know. But I remember seeing you, and I think you were part of the dance world there. Is that right? Is there any chance that's right?
No, I did take dance there, but I wasn't a part of that world because I wasn't a major. I just did it because I had that idea that I was going to study theater and voice. Like I studied opera and I was like, I'm going to obviously go to Broadway because that's the logical next steps is tiny Nebraska town, small Nebraska college, and then Broadway is how you get there. It's not practice. It's via Nebraska.
I don't want to sound like a snot, but you've played on Broadway. Okay.
I actually have. So that's what I'm just saying. It was off Broadway, which was shocking, but yeah, we did. That's pretty fun.
We did.
But I digress.
One block off Broadway.
I'm sure that we met at some point. I thought you were going to say we met at one of those parties that they used to advertise at the Quick Stop. Like people would photocopy like that they were having a party and hang it up in gas stations. And they would be like 27th and O, $5. And then they you know what they would do though? They would buy 2 kegs and they would keep charging at the door, even though they knew that the kegs had run out. You got your cup for $5. And then that's how they made rent, those fuckers, because $5 was a really big deal.
I fell for it every time. But you know how exciting it was when you were in college and you were like, let's get the party list. Okay, let's date ourselves. We're going to sound like we're 100,000 years old. We would, in our dorm with a galldarn, like literal phone, we were like, what's the party list? So you'd have this one guy, always named Derek, and you'd call him and you'd be like, what's the party list? He'd be like, 27th and Q starts at 8. And then there would be like this list. There'd be this list of these parties, and the whole night would be spent driving to these parties. You would never get in. You would just drive. But God, it was like glorious. There was people all around. It was like the potential for fun was great, but the actual fun was small.
Yeah, it was very little payoff for a lot of work, but that name Derek really rings a bell. And if it wasn't the same Derek, it was a different Derek. And you know what? You know that Derek guy is probably still DJing weddings right now, so it's not like he didn't stay that cool.
You know what? He was the guy in the know. And the fact that I knew Derek made me feel good about myself. Do you know what I mean? Like you're coming from a small country town and you're like, I got a guy's number that knows all the parties in town. That never happened to anyone like me. And that's why I loved.
But that's literally who you are. Kristin, that is who you are now to this day. You're like, I don't know if you are like a modern day mob boss, but you know everybody. You are the Derek of the day. Like you, maybe this is the silver lining. Like that guy Derek in college, that he peaked, man. You didn't peak. It took you till this point in life, but girl, you've peaked.
Thanks, girl.
Yes.
Have you ever dated as in boyfriend, dated someone that your parents hated? Like in your first, let's just say, in your first boyfriend's situation before college, like, was there ever a boyfriend or anyone that your parents were like, no?
Unfortunately, no. They should have. They should have. But no, they didn't. You did you?
Oh.
Is that who I'm thinking of?
Yes.
They hated him? Okay.
I dated, I did not have, so everyone's like, oh, I want a daughter like Kristin. I want someone who's like a virgin until they're 30. What? I wasn't a virgin until I was 30. I was a virgin until I was 21.
All this preamble means this is going to be a really good, juicy story, just so everybody knows.
Well, it's not that juicy, but I did fall madly in love and date this guy who was an artist. He was a philosophy major. He was like really hippy dippy, which means he was a giant bum. So
I know exactly who this is now. Okay.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. So he was my first official, like my real official boyfriend. And he was great because I got to like practice. I got to be a girlfriend for the first time, which felt really good. And I really loved him. And I was getting ready to move to LA, and my dad did not. Dewey was not a fan. Dewey was
right.
not a. Dewey
He
was
was
like,
right.
He was right. And Dewey,
yes,
literally, yeah. Dewey,
you know
did not
me.
like,
You know how I am, and you know how I went. It would have been Dewey and I pulling up a chair side by side to you at a barbecue one night, being like, "We've been talking. This is an intervention. You bet it is. Don't get up. Sit down. You're going to listen to both of us. I don't care. We've listened to you. You're done. We're ending it now.
That's what.
Give me your phone.
Dewey,
I'm sending a text."
Dewey, first of all, I don't know what was worse. I knew my dad, who is so important to me, loathed this person. But I think it was worse that the person did not know that my dad loathed him. So there was this aloof nature. And so I would bring over said boyfriend, and my dad would be like, "Go move that rock in the yard from this side to the," and then we'd go and have dinner, and then my boyfriend was out landscaping, and then
That's genius, by the way.
Dewey's like, "Just make this guy busy," right? So my dad gets him to do all this landscaping, and then boyfriend would come in and sit in my dad's recliner, and you would have thought my dad, it was like boyfriend was coming in with no pants on. My dad was like, "How dare he?" My dad was so against this relationship that my dad,
Wait, he sat in your dad's recliner?
He sat in my dad's recliner.
Is he even from the Midwest? How do you not know that rule?
I don't know. I don't know. But I know this. My dad wrote me, and it looks like a serial killer wrote it. My dad wrote me a 6-page handwritten.
Oh my God. In blood.
Handwritten letter with no crossouts or like 6 pages, Jen, front and back letter on why it was important to dump him, get rid of him, move to LA without him, to why, like, he covered, it was like stereo instructions. He gave me the reasons why to break up with him and how it was going to feel after the fact and how to cope. His encouragement to dating other people, find other people. Like, Dewey was not on board, and God bless him.
Please tell me you did it. Did you do it?
I did. Of course I did. Of course I did. But it wasn't because Dewey told me. It's because I knew at my core that he wasn't the right person for me, because they raised me right. And I knew I just needed to try out what it was like to be a girlfriend for a while, you know? But my dad, oh my God, you know Dewey. Dewey does not mince words.
No.
So
no.
He put it on the page, and God bless him. This thing should be in the, like, it should be, what are those places you go to DC?
The White House.
Museums.
Okay.
If there was a Smithsonian for parents, that should be in there. It's glorious.
Yeah. I agree with Dewey. I don't know what he wrote in that letter, but I know if I were going to write you a letter about this person, it would be at least 6 handwritten pages. Also, another person that we knew mutually before knowing one another, which is kind of interesting. But Dewey and I have like a respect for one another where it's like, he knows that I'm going to annoy him. And he knows that I'm going to drink too much and try and fight him with a bottle in an alley. But like,
are we both talking about Kristin?
My cousin? Oh, no. No, I feel like this is exactly though, like Mandy, my friend, I used to like write initials on her bed. Her dad and he said to me at her wedding, I hate you, Smedley. But
well, you called him a name.
Ned Flanders. He does look exactly like Ned Flanders.
He looks exactly like Ned Flanders. He does.
But like a good friend and a good dad does their job and they tell you those like painful truths. And as annoying as I am that friend that will tell you, hey, look, nobody wants to tell you that everybody hates your boyfriend. So I'm going to do it right now. Like,
you are that friend. Job. And that's a hard place to be.
Yeah.
But I will tell you this. Remember when we were out and I was like feeling good again and we went out in Venice and we were out at a club and there was this cute guy. And I was like, Jen, I'm really into him. He's really attractive. And he had, for whatever reason, he had my name in his pocket. He had my name written in his pocket. And we were out.
What?
And I was like, yeah, okay. And so we were sitting there and I remember we were having this funny conversation. I remember you told the story about having food poisoning and you like shit your own keys or something. Like it was really funny. And he was like flirting with me and he like pulled my name out of his pocket because Toby, my friend, was like, this is her name. And he wrote it down. And so he used that as a move. And I was like, that is slick. And you looked at me and you go, I don't like him. And I was like, what? And I was like, he's got my name in his pocket. And you go, I don't like him. And I was like, I don't understand what's going on right now. And he turned out to not be a good guy. And also went to a baseball game with my husband. It's fine.
Oh, okay. I think I know who that is. So I don't know if I'm confusing stories, but I do feel like I remember. Listen, it was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago.
Substantial reasons why it's vague. But I do feel like hating someone that you were out with, like it was like kind of a double date, but like a group date. Like we went somewhere and I remember like saying in front of him, he's got to go. I can't deal with this human being. Like he was. So I don't know if it was him or not.
It was him.
But
it was him.
Okay.
But that's a great thing about you because you're so supportive and sweet and like really like you do try to find the best in people, but once your decision is made that they're bad news, it's like a no, there's no room for error. Mm-mm. Yeah. I don't know what that means, but I know it means
I either love or hate, usually love, stubborn, proud.
But I do think that you need that friend that says to you, this person isn't right for you. And you got to listen. If your friends and your family don't like them, that's why I told my kids, this is full circle. Remember when we were talking about this and we said like, oh shit, what do we do when our kids get to the dating age? Because that's like a whole new level that we're not in yet. And we're just getting like little small tidbits of what that's going to be like. And but I swear to you, if I don't like them, they're out. I told my kids, I'm like, I'm already priming them. I'm like, if I don't like them, they got to go. And I don't care. I don't want to do shady deals, but if I don't like them, they're not allowed.
I already with my son, like as much as I sit him down and I'm like, look, I don't like people that lie. I say to him when I hear him talking to his friends on the phone, I'm like, yeah, I don't like people who talk mean like that. Like you're just not going to do with it. Like, or I will even say to him, like, is that person like on the iPad all day playing games? He's like, yeah. I'm like, that's bad parenting. Come at me, bro.
You're not having it.
I do. I'm not having it. Cause I mean, that's the deal. I'm like, I love everybody, but if I don't like them, that means something. Like I can't keep it in either. I have to say it.
Look, I'm a country girl. If you come to my door, oh God, you might read about us in the news. If you come to our door, if you come to our house to take our daughter on a date, and by the way, our son too, because this isn't like one side conversation, but like if you're like a pain in the ass and you're a girl, but if you come to our house and you're a boy and you honk the horn, I will come out not wearing a bra. I will charge your stupid dumb car. You will never come to our house again. Don't you dare honk the horn.
You know what? Come out not wearing a shirt or bra and then really scare the shit out of that kid. Be like,
I swear to God, I will. They won't know what's fine, a bat or my boobs, but either one will hurt them.
They're both flying around in multiple directions, so I don't know. But are you gonna? What age are you gonna let them go out on dates? What age? Well, because this is what I think. I do feel like around 13 or 14. I don't care. When I hear online, like when people say like, oh, at like 12 they're giving blowjobs, I'm like, why? Unless they're getting a goddamn shit. No, they are. They do. We know this from friends who have, if they're not getting a Chanel bag out of it, or like a,
listen,
that sounds
it's
really
true.
bad,
It's true. I know. I know what you mean.
What does a 42-year-old woman get out of a blowjob?
Nothing. So let's just give it to them straight. You get nothing. Don't do that. You don't have to do that. You know, just because they think it feels good. That's just something to put a ring on it. You don't need that.
It is a selfless act to show that you love someone because you know what?
I disagree.
Because they re-roofed the house, or they did a at-home oil change, or like they make you coffee every
that's
morning.
A small ask, Jen. What? You better frame a house. You better. No.
This isn't marriage counseling.
I have a small mouth medically. I'm not doing that. So I think the fun takeaway is like your first loves and first boyfriends, and like a good reminder is that they're really important, and you don't have to do anything with them. They don't even have to really exist in the world. They're important. Like even a crush that's like a TV crush or a crush that's in your life, like it's a thing. And I think it's a good reminder as we have kids that are coming into that's a pretty big deal.
And I, as the friend who has already established herself as an asshole, feels like the important takeaway is that they literally do not matter. Like you are going to use them because their name is hilarious years later to talk about how did I love someone named Bo Bortle who kissed me on the back of his parents' green Cougar in their garage. Like they don't mean anything, but they feel like everything in the moment, and they're not. And what you need is
it's
that
so funny, though.
really good friend. Like, nah. I know Aaron
think
Koontz,
about that.
by the way.
Yes, I know.
Hold on a second. Wait a second. Is he the guy that always would get naked at parties? He is.
The district.
Did he go to Wesleyan?
Jen? No. Yes, partly. Wait, hold on. Hold on. Aaron is no, he didn't. He went to Creighton. He's a district attorney in Hall County, and also the owner of the Dairy Queen in Central City, and the owner of the new Taco John's in Central City. And his wife is lovely, and they have 3 boys. And what I would like to say about that, he does love to get naked at parties. But
I know.
And
that's how I thought you looked familiar. I knew you from a party.
You're like, he has darker testicles.
He has very long testicles.
Let me just say, Aaron, while he was my first real relationship, he is also one of my dearest friends. And I think that's the takeaway from this. Literally, I do. I think, Jen, stop looking at me like you know him from a party when he got naked. That is not him.
No, I don't. I don't
he
know
went
him
to
from
Creighton.
a party. Kristin, I know him from many parties, and all of them he got naked at. And I'm not joking. I am telling you right now. I know
can't
who
deny
it is now. I thought the name rang a bell. Very dark
Aaron,
testicles.
this is on you. This is on you.
Sorry. And our glue person, the person I know him from is a DA also. So there's no way it's not him.
All district attorneys have shown their nuts at one point or another, right?
That's it. That's it. That's a wrap, girl.